We met on Match.com. I was fed up with my previous attempts at online dating, and when I wrote this ad, I was determined to be crystal clear. I said that I was looking for a guy who was as comfortable in a tux as he was in a backpack, and as comfortable talking to my CEO as he would be talking to my grandmother. I hit send. I waited 3 months, and then in the middle of the night, I received the only response I would ever receive from some guy in Woodstock seeking heaven on earth. He said he was a Buddhist/Jew. What the heck was a Buddhist/Jew, I wondered. But he turned out to be quite charming. Our first date went well, and we agreed to meet for our second date on New Year's Eve. At the last minute, he called to tell me that the date would include his teenage son. I thought, okay, but I wanted to be low maintenance, so I said, sure, no problem, I'd love to meet your son. Meanwhile, I was petrified. A teenage son? When we met, he said, would you mind if we stopped at my dojo first? They're having a little New Year's Eve party. What the heck was a dojo, I wondered, but I said, sure, why not? We drove up the windy mountain road, and as we pulled up to the dojo, he looked at my satin pants and patent leather flats and asked, do you want me to pull up to the door to let you out? I shouldn't have, but I said, no, I'll be fine. He parked the car along the road, said, be careful getting out, and we all opened our doors. It was pitch black, and as I opened the door, I do remembering what was out there, but I got out, gingerly took a step, and closed the car door. I took another step and promptly, swiftly fell into a ravine. As I slid, I grabbed the edge of the embankment and clung to it, gasping for air, my feet dangling beneath me. I couldn't speak, I couldn't scream, I just dangled. And then I heard his son say, where's Allison? They ran around the car and I heard, oh no, oh my God. And then they both reached down, grabbed my arms and hauled me up to the road. As I caught my breath, my date asked, do you want to go home? Do you want to change your clothes? I said, no, I'll be fine. That night, I learned what a dojo was. I danced my way into the next century, and all night long, every time the three of us looked at each other, we laughed and said, where's Allison? The next morning, he called to ask if I wanted to spend the day with him, and what would I like to do? Joking, I said, anything as long as I don't have to kneel. My knee was swollen, and I had a nasty purple bruise. He said, well, there's this chanting event in Woodstock that might be good. What was a chanting event, I wondered. A few hours later, we entered a room of 50 or 60 people chanting in some strange hypnotic language, and I looked around, incredulous. Every single person was kneeling. We burst out laughing, and we were still laughing when we got back to his house and told his son the story. The son rolled his eyes and said, way to go, Dad, really smooth. First you let her fall into a ravine, and then you make her kneel on her wounds. That night was 20 years ago this past New Year's Eve. The guy who met all my criteria is now my husband, and the fastest way to get a laugh in our family is to say, where's Allison?